don't walk away just yet. Right now, she's pulling back, becoming distant, maybe even making you question your worth. And if you react the wrong way, if you chase, beg, or try to fix things, you will lose everything that made her attracted to you in the first place. Most men fail this test. They panic, they overcompensate, and they unknowingly destroy their own value in her eyes. But what if I told you there's a way to flip the script? Without pleading, without proving, without losing your power. This video isn't about tricks or games. It's about reclaiming your position, standing firm, and letting her feel the weight of your absence. If you do this right, she will be the one questioning herself, not you. Before we dive in, take control of your mindset. Hit like, share this video, and subscribe to Victory Stoic. Comment, "I choose clarity" below, and let's get started. Number 1. Why she's pulling away. The truth most men ignore. Something feels off. She's not as affectionate, not as eager to spend time with you, and when she does, the energy isn't the same. The texts get shorter, the calls get less frequent, and you feel her slipping away. Your gut tells you something's wrong, and like most men, you panic. Your instinct tells you to fix it. You start texting more, calling more, trying harder to remind her how much you care. And that's the biggest mistake you can make. Because what you don't realize is that the very thing you're doing to keep her is exactly what's making her lose interest. The silent killers of attraction. 1. She's bored. The mystery is gone. At the beginning, you were exciting. She didn't fully understand you, she had to earn your attention, and there was an element of unpredictability that kept her engaged. Now, she knows exactly how you'll respond, exactly how much you care, exactly how available you are. There's no more challenge, no more anticipation, just a routine she has completely figured out. Think about Daniel and Lisa. When they first started dating, Daniel was independent. He had his own life, his own goals, and Lisa was drawn to that. He didn't text all the time, he wasn't always available, and that made her crave his attention even more. But as the months passed, Daniel got comfortable. He started canceling his plans for her, texting her constantly, always making himself available at a moment's notice. The result? Lisa stopped feeling excited about him. She knew she could have him whenever she wanted, and what's always available is never valuable. 2. She's testing you. Can you handle distance? Women subconsciously test men all the time. It's not always intentional, but it's instinctual. She needs to know if you're the kind of man who stays composed under pressure, or if you crumble the moment she pulls away. Picture Mark and Emily. Emily started responding to texts slower, taking longer to make plans. Mark immediately noticed the change and panicked. Instead of staying calm, he doubled his efforts, texting more, calling more, asking what was wrong. Every time she stepped back, he stepped forward harder. What did this tell Emily? That Mark was insecure, that he needed constant reassurance, that he was afraid of losing her. Nothing kills attraction faster than fear. The moment a woman senses that she has complete control over your emotions, you lose your power in the relationship. 3. She doesn't feel that emotional high anymore. Attraction isn't logical, it's emotional. And emotions are driven by contrast, anticipation, and excitement. If she's completely certain about you, there's no emotional roller coaster, no reason for her heart to race when she sees your name pop up. Think about how people react to concerts. If someone gave you free VIP tickets to your favorite band, you'd be ecstatic. But what if you had free VIP tickets every single day? Eventually, it wouldn't be special anymore. That's what happens when you're always available. She stops appreciating you. The biggest mistake men make: chasing harder. Most men make the same fatal mistake. When she pulls away, they push harder. They think that if they just show her how much they care, if they just prove their love, she'll come back. Wrong. The more you chase, the more suffocated she feels. The more you prove your love, the less value it holds. Instead of making her miss you, you remind her that she doesn't have to work for your attention. Solution? Stop reacting. When she pulls away, let her. Stay calm. Focus on your life, your purpose, your growth. The moment she sees that you're not affected, that's the moment she starts to question herself. Because the hard truth is this: she's not losing interest because she doesn't care about you. She's losing interest because you stopped being the man she was originally drawn to. The strong, independent, confident man. It's time to get him back. Number 2, the silent test. Most men fail. When she starts pulling back, she's not necessarily leaving, she's testing you. This is a test most men don't even realize they're taking, and worse, they fail it instantly. The moment she stops texting as often, takes longer to reply, or seems less eager to make plans, she's watching closely. She wants to see if you'll stay composed or crumble under pressure. Women are drawn to strength, not just physical, but emotional. When she subtly withdraws, she's not always looking for a reason to leave. She's looking for confirmation that you are the kind of man who can handle distance. If you immediately panic, ask what's wrong, send more messages, or try harder to win back her attention, you fail. Why? Because neediness is repellent. It tells her you're dependent on her approval, that you're not as solid as she thought, and that if she pulls away a little more, you'll chase even harder. That's not attractive, it's predictable. Now let's take it further. She's also testing whether you have options or if she's your entire world. If she senses that you're only acting confident when things are going well, but become desperate the moment she pulls away, she'll know the truth. You don't actually have options, you just pretend you do. A high-value man doesn't chase harder when a woman creates distance. He lets her take her space, continues his life, and remains unaffected. Most men fail because they react. They text more, ask if everything is okay, and try to fix a problem that doesn't even exist. A man who understands the game doesn't fall into this trap. He knows that distance is part of the natural rhythm of attraction. Instead of panicking, he allows the space to exist, knowing that the moment she realizes he's not chasing, she will be the one questioning her actions. Number 3, the common mistakes men make, and how they kill attraction instantly. Let's talk about Jake. Jake is like most guys, good-hearted, well-meaning, and completely clueless about attraction. When he first started dating Emily, everything was effortless. She was excited to see him, always texting first, and even playfully teasing him about how much she liked him. But then, slowly, something changed. One day, Jake texted Emily in the morning, and instead of her usual quick reply, hours went by with nothing. His mind started racing. Did I say something wrong? Is she losing interest? Should I check in again? By the afternoon, he couldn't take it anymore. He double texted, "Hey, just wanted to see if you got my message earlier." Still nothing. Now panic set in. That night, he sent one more message. "Hope you're okay. Let me know if I did something wrong." The next day, Emily finally replied, "Hey, sorry, super busy yesterday." Jake felt relieved, but also confused. She wasn't acting the same. He didn't realize that in those 24 hours of her not texting back, he had completely shifted the dynamic. Instead of remaining the confident guy she was initially drawn to, he became the guy who needed reassurance. But Jake's mistakes didn't stop there. A week later, he planned a date with Emily, and at the last minute, she canceled. Today has been so crazy. Can we reschedule?" Now here's where men split into two categories: those who understand attraction and those who kill it. The confident man, the one who understands his value, would simply say, "No problem. Let me know when you're free and we'll see if it works." And then he wouldn't bring it up again. But Jake? He panicked again. He thought, she's canceling. Maybe she's losing interest. I have to lock in another date ASAP. So, within 30 seconds of her canceling, he replied, "No worries. How about tomorrow instead?" And that was it. Jake had just completely killed the attraction. Why does this happen? Attraction is not about words, it's about energy. When Jake sent those extra messages, when he immediately tried to reschedule, he sent a clear signal to Emily: "You are more valuable than me. I need to keep you interested." And that shift, it destroyed the respect and excitement she had for him. Think about it this way. If you had front row VIP tickets to see your favorite band, and at the last second they canceled, would you immediately beg them to reschedule for the next night? No. You'd be disappointed, sure, but you'd know that they are in demand and their time is valuable. And that's why they remain high status. Jake, on the other hand, made it painfully obvious that Emily was his VIP concert, but he was just an optional background act for her. And the more he chased, the more obvious that became. What should you do instead? The next time she doesn't reply, don't double text. The next time she cancels, don't immediately offer another time. Just keep moving. Your time is valuable. If she respects you, she'll reschedule on her own. If she doesn't, then she was never really interested to begin with. The moment you stop reacting emotionally, you shift the power back in your favor. And that's when attraction grows again, because you become the rare man who actually understands how it works. Number 4. The man who understands the game, what he does differently. Let's introduce Ethan. Ethan isn't a superhero. He's not a billionaire. He's not some unattainable alpha male. But what makes him different from most men? He understands the game. Ethan has been seeing Sarah for a few months, and things were going well until suddenly she started pulling back. She took longer to reply, she was less eager to make plans, and one night she canceled a date last minute. Now, most guys would react emotionally. They'd panic, start texting more, ask if something's wrong, or immediately suggest another date. But Ethan? He did nothing. When Sarah canceled, he simply replied, "All good. Let me know when you're free." And then he went back to his life. No overanalyzing, no chasing, no sitting around waiting for her reply. 1. He doesn't react emotionally. Ethan knows that attraction is built on certainty in yourself, not insecurity about her. He doesn't let her mood shifts dictate his behavior. He doesn't let a delayed text make him doubt his worth. When she pulls back, he doesn't chase, he observes. Sarah might be busy. She might be testing him. She might be losing interest. It doesn't matter. Ethan doesn't need constant reassurance. He remains steady, and that alone makes him different from 95% of men. 2. He doesn't try to fix the situation. Most men, when a woman pulls away, immediately try to solve what they think is a problem. But Ethan knows there's nothing to fix. If Sarah is interested, she'll come back. If she's not, chasing her won't change a thing. A man who understands attraction doesn't convince a woman to stay. He gives her the freedom to leave. Because he knows that attraction isn't about logic or persuasion. It's about energy. The more he tries to pull her back, the more she'll resist. But when he lets her go, that's when she starts thinking about him. 3. He holds his position and focuses on his life. Here's the biggest difference. While other men sit around waiting for a text, Ethan is busy living. He's at the gym, at work, handling business, improving himself. He doesn't sit by his phone hoping for a message. He's too occupied becoming the best version of himself. And guess what happens? After a few days, Sarah starts to notice his silence. She wonders why he hasn't double-texted, why he hasn't asked when she's free again. She starts to miss his presence. One evening, Sarah texts him, "Hey, how have you been?" Most guys would jump at the chance, replying instantly with, "OMG, hey, I've been waiting to hear from you." But Ethan? He waits. He replies hours later, "Been great, busy with some projects. How's everything with you?" No desperation, no neediness. Just a man who is already complete, with or without her. Why this works? A woman doesn't lose interest because you're not texting enough or not planning enough dates. She loses interest when she senses you need her more than she needs you. Ethan never falls into that trap. He doesn't chase, he doesn't beg for attention, and he doesn't overinvest. And because of that, he keeps his power, his respect, and most importantly, her attraction. So the next time she pulls back, be Ethan. Stay composed. Don't react. Keep moving forward. Because a high-value man never asks if he's enough. He already knows he is. Number 5. Why your absence has more power than your presence. Most men think constant attention makes a woman value them more. They text daily, always check in, always say yes, believing consistency equals security. But when something is always available, it stops being special. Imagine your favorite meal. If you only get it once a month, you savor every bite. But if it's served to you every day, it becomes ordinary. That's what happens when she knows you're always there. She doesn't have to wonder about you, miss you, or put in any effort because she knows she already has you. Now think about a VIP event. If anyone can walk in any time, it's just another party. But if access is limited, people value it more. The same goes for relationships. If she knows your attention is guaranteed, she doesn't have to prioritize you. The men women chase aren't necessarily better. They're just more selective with their time and energy. The guy who is always available offers no challenge, no excitement, no mystery. Here's the shift. When you stop texting first, when you stop dropping everything for her, she starts to notice. She checks her phone, wondering why you haven't messaged. She starts rereading old conversations, stalking your social media, asking herself, did I do something wrong? Is he seeing someone else? She begins to miss the presence she once took for granted. Women don't miss you when you're always there. They miss you when your absence is felt. And once that happens, she starts putting in effort again. Not because you begged, but because you created space for her to invest. So what's the move? Stop being predictable. Stop responding instantly. Stop making her your center. If she cancels plans, don't immediately suggest another date. Let her come to you. If she gets distant, pull back even further. Make your time valuable and she will start working to earn it. If she truly cares, she will notice and chase. And if she doesn't, then you've just saved yourself from wasting time on someone who never valued you in the first place. Number 6, she starts feeling the loss, the power of your silence. The moment you stop chasing, something shifts. When you no longer text first, stop reacting to her social media, and pull back from constantly seeking her attention, she starts to notice the gap you left behind. At first, she might not react. She might assume you'll come back, just like before. But then, nothing. And that's when the questions start creeping into her mind. Why hasn't he texted me? Did I push him too far? Is he seeing someone else? This is where most men panic and break their silence too soon. They can't handle the discomfort of not knowing what she's thinking. They want reassurance that she still cares, so they reach out, checking in, sending a casual text, liking her posts, and in that moment, they lose all the power they just gained. But the man who understands attraction doesn't rush to fill the silence. He lets it work for him. He knows that when something once familiar and predictable disappears, it creates emotional tension. She might act like she doesn't care at first, but as time passes, she will start to feel the absence. Think about when you misplace your phone. At first, you assume it's nearby, but after a while, the anxiety kicks in. You start checking every place you've been, retracing your steps, and suddenly, you're consumed by the need to find it. That's what happens when you disappear from her life. Attraction thrives in uncertainty. If she's always sure of you, she has no reason to think about you. But if suddenly she doesn't know where you stand, her mind starts running scenarios, and the more she wonders, the more she invests emotionally. So what do? Nothing. Stay silent. Let her feel the shift. Let her reach out first. If she values you, she will notice your absence. She will start looking for signs that you still care. And when she finally texts, don't reward her instantly. Make her feel that your presence is earned, not given freely. Because here's the truth. Women don't fall in love when you're constantly available. They fall in love when they start to fear losing you. Number 7, the right way to respond when she comes back. She pulled away, you didn't chase, and now she's back. Maybe she sends a simple "hey," reacts to your story, or asks a random question just to start a conversation. This isn't just a message, it's a test. She wants to see if you're still waiting, if she still has control, or if something has changed. Most men fail instantly. The moment she reaches out, they eagerly reply, excited that she finally noticed them again. They think this is their chance to fix things, but in reality, they just showed her that she can pull away anytime and still have access to them. The man who understands attraction reacts differently. He stays calm. He doesn't let excitement dictate his actions. He doesn't immediately reward her with his attention. Why? Because a man who values himself doesn't let someone come and go as they please. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." If your greatest ambition is simply getting her back, then she will sense that your life revolves around her, and nothing kills attraction faster than that. When she texts, don't rush to respond. Think of a king. Does he drop everything to greet a visitor? No. He acknowledges their presence, but he moves on his own time. That's the energy you need. If she asks how you've been, don't pour your heart out. A simple, "been great, staying busy," use enough. Let her carry the conversation. If she asks to meet up, don't jump at the chance. Make her put in effort. If she wants to be part of your life again, she needs to show she deserves that space. Too many men make the mistake of instantly welcoming her back, acting as if nothing happened. But if you don't make her work for it, she won't respect it. She needs to feel that she has to earn back your presence, not that she can disappear and return whenever she pleases. She left the table, now she has to prove she deserves a seat again. If you give her everything too easily, she won't value it. But if she senses that your time is valuable and that she has to work to be part of your life, she will respect you, and attraction will rebuild naturally. So when she comes back, stay grounded, stay in control. Make her invest in you again. If she's serious, she will step up. If she's not, she will leave again. Either way, you remain unshaken because your worth was never dependent on her return. Number 8. What if she never comes back? Accepting the hard truth. Not every woman will return. That's a reality most men struggle to accept. Some walk away because they're unsure, but others leave because they've already emotionally detached long before the breakup. The worst mistake you can make is waiting. Many men convince themselves that if they're patient enough, she'll realize what she lost. Weeks turn into months, months into years, and by the time reality sets in, they've wasted precious time living in the past. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." The real loss isn't her. It's the time you waste hoping for someone who has already chosen to move forward. If she truly wanted to be in your life, she would be. A woman who cares about you won't leave and expect you to wait. Take Chris and Julia. They dated for 2 years, and suddenly, Julia said she needed space. Chris, convinced it was just a phase, agreed. But deep down, he waited. He stopped going out, kept checking her social media, and replayed their last conversations, searching for signs that she'd come back. 3 months later, he saw the update that broke him. Julia was now happily dating someone new. The pain wasn't just losing her, it was realizing how much time he had wasted living in false hope. Then there's Daniel. When his girlfriend, Emily, ended things, he didn't fight it. He didn't beg, he didn't wait. He moved. He went back to the gym, threw himself into his work, and made new connections. A few months later, Emily reached out, testing the waters, but by then, Daniel had already evolved. He no longer needed closure because he had already closed that chapter himself. And suddenly, Emily was the one questioning if she had made a mistake. The key lesson here? You can't lose someone who isn't meant to stay. If she truly valued you, she wouldn't have left. And if she realizes what she lost, by then, you'll already be someone she can no longer have. The true Stoic approach is simple. Accept reality, focus on what you can control, and never let the past steal your future. Number 9. Never chase someone who no longer wants to stay. You are the prize. A man who understands his worth never begs for someone to stay. The moment you feel like you have to convince a woman to be with you, you've already lost. Love, respect, and attraction cannot be negotiated. If she wants to go, let her. Epictetus once said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is wrong, I will happily change, for I seek the truth," which never harmed anyone. The harm is to persist in one's own self-deception and ignorance. And that's what most men do. They deceive themselves into thinking that if they try harder, if they chase more, if they prove their worth, she'll see what she's losing. But true value is never proven. It is recognized. Let's talk about David and Sophia. They had been together for 3 years, but something changed. Sophia became distant, less affectionate, and started making excuses to spend time apart. David felt it happening, but told himself it was just a rough patch. One night, she sat him down and said, "I love you, but I need to figure things out on my own." David panicked. Instead of accepting it, he tried to convince her to stay. He reminded her of their best memories, promised to change, even bought her flowers the next day, thinking a grand gesture might fix things. But with every attempt, she pulled away further. Why? Because you can't negotiate attraction. The more he chased, the less respect she had for him. In her eyes, he was no longer the confident man she fell for. He became a man who needed her validation to feel valuable. Then there's Mark. When his girlfriend Rachel told him she needed space, he listened. He didn't argue, he didn't beg, he simply said, "I understand. Do what you need to do." Then he walked away and focused on his life. He went to the gym, worked harder, and reconnected with friends. He didn't block her or play games. He simply lived his life as if she was no longer part of it. A few months later, Rachel reached out. "Hey, I miss you. Can we talk?" But by that time, Mark had changed. He had rediscovered his value. He realized that a woman who truly wanted to stay would never have left in the first place. He met new people, grew stronger, and most importantly, he no longer saw her as the prize, because he had become the prize. The biggest mistake men make is believing that love should be fought for at all costs. No. Love should be reciprocated. If someone truly values you, they won't make you prove yourself. They won't make you chase, and they won't walk away expecting you to run after them. The moment you have to fight for basic respect and attention, you've already lost the most important battle, the one for your own self-worth. A high-value man never begs to be in someone's life. He offers his presence, but if it's not appreciated, he takes it away. Women respect a man who knows his worth because deep down, they know that kind of man is rare. So if she wants to leave, let her. If she comes back, she has to earn her place again. And if she doesn't, then you just saved yourself time, energy, and effort that can now be invested in becoming an even better version of yourself. You are not an option. You are not disposable. You are not a backup plan. You are the prize. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you'll stop chasing and start attracting the right people into your life. Number 10. The Unbreakable Rule of Attraction. Rarity creates value. A high-value man is not easily replaced. He is not desperate for attention, nor does he make himself constantly available just to maintain someone's interest. Attraction isn't built on presence, it's built on absence. The moment a woman knows she can have you at any time, she stops thinking about you. But the moment you step back, the moment you are no longer easily accessible, that's when she starts to reassess your value. Think about luxury brands. A rare sports car, a limited edition watch, or an exclusive invitation-only event. These things hold power not because they beg for attention, but because they are difficult to obtain. People want what they can't easily have. And whether you like it or not, human relationships work the same way. Let's look at Jake and Olivia. Jake was a good guy, always texting first, always available, always the one rearranging his schedule for Olivia. He thought being there all the time would make her appreciate him more. But instead, she slowly stopped prioritizing him. She took longer to reply. She stopped making time for him, not because he did anything wrong, but because he was too accessible. Then there's Ryan. Ryan was just as interested in his girlfriend, Emily, but he understood a fundamental truth. When something is given too easily, it's taken for granted. He never ignored Emily or played games, but he had a life outside of her. He pursued his passions, kept his routine, and never dropped everything just because she called. When she pulled back, he didn't chase. And when he was busy, he didn't immediately adjust his schedule for her. What happened? Emily respected him more. She started valuing the time they did spend together because it wasn't always guaranteed. This is the difference between a man who understands attraction and a man who destroys it. The first guy believes availability equals love. The second guy understands that what is easily available is rarely appreciated. So, what does this mean for you? Stop making yourself too easy to reach. Don't always be the first to text. Don't always be free whenever she is. Don't put her at the center of your life, because if she senses that you would drop everything for her, she will eventually stop valuing your presence. Attraction is simple. If you are everywhere, you are nowhere. If you are too easy to get, you are easy to forget. Women don't want a man they can control, they want a man they can admire. And admiration comes from knowing that you have options, that you live by your own rules, and that your presence is something that must be earned. Number 11. When she starts watching you again. Don't fall for the trap you pulled back. You stopped chasing, and now, suddenly, she's watching again. She's viewing your stories, checking who interacts with you, maybe even liking an old post or sending a casual text. It might seem like she's interested again, but be careful. This doesn't necessarily mean she wants you back. More often than not, she's just checking if she still has control over you. This is the trap that most men fall into. The moment she gives them a little attention, they get excited, think it's a sign she's coming back, and immediately engage. They respond fast, try to restart conversations, and assume things are going back to normal. But in reality, she's not chasing, she's just checking. She wants to see if you're still emotionally available, if she can still get a reaction from you. If you give her that confirmation too easily, she loses interest again just as fast as she appeared. Think about a cat playing with a toy. If the toy moves unpredictably, the cat stays engaged. But if it just lies there, motionless, the cat loses interest and walks away. The same principle applies here. If she sees you're still too easy to reach, she won't feel any urgency to truly reconnect. A man who understands the game doesn't react. He notices, but he doesn't move. He continues living his life, posting without expectation, maintaining his frame. If she wants to come back, she has to do more than just lurk in the background. She has to invest. She has to reach out in a meaningful way, put in effort, and show that she's serious. The moment you stop reacting to breadcrumbs, you force her to make a real choice. Either she steps up, or she walks away for good. And if she walks, then you've just confirmed what you already knew: she was never serious to begin with. Number 12, the ultimate mindset. Stop chasing, start elevating. A high-value man never chases. He attracts. He doesn't waste time convincing someone to see his worth, because his actions, his success, and his energy speak for themselves. Instead of obsessing over who's pulling away, who's losing interest, or who's watching his stories, he redirects all that energy into something far more powerful: his own evolution. Most men spend their time trying to win women over, proving themselves, bending their lives to accommodate someone who may not even truly value them. But the strongest men in history, the ones who commanded respect and admiration, never begged for attention. They built empires, created legacies, and became men who naturally drew people toward them. Think about it. The men who chase are always chasing, always trying to prove, always reacting, always feeling like they have something to lose. But the men who focus on their own growth, they set the terms. They dictate the game. And because of that, they never worry about whether a woman sees their value. They know she either recognizes it or she's not worth their time. If she doesn't appreciate what you bring to the table, let her go. If she's not drawn to the man you're becoming, she's simply not meant to be part of your journey. A true king doesn't worry about who stays or who leaves. He just keeps building his kingdom. The real power move isn't winning the game. It's realizing that you never had to play by someone else's rules in the first place. You don't compete, you create. Conclusion: make your choice from strength, not weakness. If you've made it this far, it means you're serious about reclaiming your power. Before you decide to walk away, make sure it's from a place of strength, not desperation. A high-value man never begs, never chases, and never stays where he isn't respected. He chooses clarity over confusion, self-respect over attachment, and growth over stagnation. Your next move defines everything. Will you keep making the same mistakes, or will you finally shift the dynamic in your favor? The choice is yours, but remember, true power comes from detachment, self-discipline, and the ability to walk away when necessary. Now take action. Hit like, share this video, and subscribe to Victory Stoic to stay on the path of self-mastery. Comment, "I choose clarity" below and share your thoughts. Are you making your decisions from a place of power? Let's hear it.